Welcome to Palisade Technical Support Instructive Videos. In this video, you will learn how to do a concurrent network server setup. Before installing the end-user software, your server needs to be set up to host network licenses. This video will walk you through the 5 steps you will need to follow to complete the process one by one. If you'd like to watch how to perform one of the steps again, please click on the option of your preference on the menu at the left side of the screen. Please make sure you're logged on to your server as full administrator. Step 1. Run the server installer. Extract to an empty folder the contents of the file you downloaded from the email or CD Palisade sent you. Double-click on the server setup executable. If this is Windows 7, right-click and choose Run as Administrator. It will read information from the server.inf file and also make use of the other files. Follow all prompts to install the Palisade software. Make sure you read and understand the entire license agreement. Choose the directory where Flexnet License Manager files will be stored. By default, a Palisade folder is created beneath your specified Flexnet folder. The Palisade folder will contain subfolders based on the serial numbers of each Palisade network product you have purchased. Step 2. Transfer licenses from Palisade server to your server. First, open a command prompt or DOS shell. Change directory using the CD command to get to the SN folder. The SN folder is a folder whose name is your serial number. A file called transferlicenses.bat should exist in the SN folder. By default, it will attempt to connect to the Palisade license server and transfer all of the licenses associated with the serial number to your server. To initiate the license transfer, please run the .bat file by typing transfer licenses in the DOS shell. You will see a series of progress messages like the ones on the screen. Please allow at least 60 seconds for the license transfer to complete. The last line should be, "Transfer request successfully processed." If the last message indicates the license transfer succeeded, please skip ahead to step 3 by clicking on the option of the left. If communication problems prevented a direct connection between the Palisade license server and your server, then the license transfer can be completed manually by generating and sending XML files via email as follows. To start the manual transfer process, run the request.bat file in your DOS shell. Type request to start. The file request.xml will be created in the SN folder. Send an email and attach the file to activate2@palisade.com. Palisade will process the request and send back a corresponding response.xml file. Save the response XML file in the SN folder. Then, in the DOS shell, run the response.bat by typing response. If this is the first time trusted storage is being established in your server, this will be a two-step process. In the DOS shell, run pal server acttil --view. If the output is no fulfillment records in trusted storage, then you have completed the creation of the trusted storage area, and you need to generate another request XML file for the product licenses. Run request in the DOS shell again. The file request.xml will be written in an SN folder with the new request. Attach the file to an email and send it to activate2@palisade.com again. Palisade will respond back with a corresponding response XML file. Again, save the response XML file in the SN folder and run response in the DOS shell. This should complete the transfer process. Step 3. Verify license transfer. Within the DOS shell, whose current directory is the SN folder, type pal server acttil --view. Scroll up and look for the line that begins hybrid. It contains the number of licenses now on your server available for current use and for borrowing. Please do not proceed to the next step until you have verified the licenses have been transferred from the Palisade server to your server. Once the licenses have been transferred from the Palisade's license server to your server, the licenses become your responsibility to manage. Please do not erase the hard drive, re-image the computer, or take any action that would erase the licenses from trusted storage. If you need to move the licenses to a different server, please contact Palisade Technical Support for further instructions. Step 4. Establish a Flexnet License Manager process. Go to the SN folder. Run Element Tools by double-clicking it. Make the System Settings tab active, and copy the name of your server in the computer hostname field. Go to the server.lic in the SN folder, right-click and choose Edit. Change this host to the name of your server. Save the modified server.lic file. Within Element Tools, make the Config Services tab active. Enter a new service name. Then, use the Browse buttons to populate the 3 empty fields. Identify the lmgrd.exe file located within the asset folder. Identify the server.lic you modified with your server name in the SN folder as well. You can specify any name and location for the log file. For consistency, you may wish to locate it within the SN folder. Check the box Use Services and also check the box to Start Server at PowerUp. Then press Save Service. Make the Start Stop Reread tab active. Please select the service you just added and press Start Server. To verify that the Flexnet License Manager process has been set up correctly and is now running, make the Server Status tab active and press Perform Status Inquiry. Scroll through the output text. Note that if Perform Status Inquiry is used multiple times, the old text remains in the dialog and the new text is added at the bottom. You should see that the Flexnet License Manager is running and that your product licenses are available. You may close Element Tools. Step 5. Make the client installer available. Go to your SN folder. Within the SN folder is a client installer folder, which contains a product installer and a file named client.ini. Now that your server has been set up, the client software may be installed on the end user computers. You may copy or distribute the contents of the client installer folder to your end users in whatever manner is more appropriate for your environment. The only restriction is that it is important to have the client.ini file in the same folder as the product installer, because when the product installer launches, it will search for the client.ini file and use the values in it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact support@palisade.com. Thanks for watching.